Sam, that must be tough to take.
Well, it's professional suicide on it, you know what I mean? I think that you prepare for a game, you get the players down here and put some tactics into play and look at the opposition's strengths and weaknesses, of course, and then you try play the game as best you possibly can. But when you do what you do in a game of football in those moments, and the errors that huge errors that you make, which Harry Kane's going to take full advantage of, isn't he? So we messed up again and tried to fight our way back and messed up again in a big way, because our response to going 1-0 down was very good. But of course we couldn't find the back of the net. In fact, unfortunately, with the huge amount of attempts we had at goal today, which was 20-21, we only had 2 on target. And that tells you everything about our capabilities of attacking, yes, creating opportunities, yes, but our quality of finishing is obviously exceptionally poor. And then at the other end, of course, switching off. And I suppose that in the end, you know, Tottenham have better quality than we have. They showed that particularly in front of goal, because I think they had 10, 11 attempts, 7 on target, scored 4. And that probably says it all for Leeds this season. Goals conceded nearly as much as everybody else, and obviously we've scored quite a few goals. I think we're about mid-table, but without stopping the goals going in, we couldn't pick the points up to get us safe. But I wanted to go out with a sense of pride today, and I unfortunately didn't see that, sadly.
The early goal, I mean, it's a horrible start, but that kills the momentum, sort of calms down the Ellen Road crowd, which you want them at fever pitch. And it's happened at the start of both halves, which is...
It is. Well, you don't play in the opposition's half, and if you lose the ball, you don't give them the opportunity, because when you do that, you end up doing what happened to us, like you mean. And it's you know, it's not. It's you can preach to the players as much as you want. You know, most goals are scored by losing the ball in your own half. Most goals are scored by the opposition capitalising on your mistake. They're not scored by the creativity and the wonder skill of the opposition. They're just not. Most of the goals are scored on opposition's mistakes, and we made critical errors at the wrong period of time. And because of the quality of Tottenham, they took full advantage of it. I mean, we get back in the game, make some substitution change, get back in the game, lift the crowd a little bit, look like very, very dangerous, score a really, really good goal. And I think in the space of 2 minutes, they've scored again. It just, you know, I mean, there's enough professionals out there to say, ooh, you know, let's make sure we do not concede another goal and see what happens. And unfortunately, that's not what we did.
These flaws, they've been here for nearly 2 seasons now, so it's going to be difficult to change them in 4 games.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, you know, you try and you set. It's all about the basics. That's what it's always been about. It's about getting your basics right, and of course the basics are pretty simple, because it's a pretty simple game, and so many people and so many coaches are trying to complicate it, and it's never been complicated. You know, what you do in the end in both boxes is the most critical thing in the end. Obviously, how you get there is how you play to get there. But what you get quality at one end has to create chances. We created those chances but couldn't convert them. And at the other end, defensively as a team, have to be very sound, and didn't manage that again today. So it's obviously been a pretty big saga for the club. Very, very sad that this club is getting relegated after working so hard to get back in the Premiership for so long. And of course, you know, the rebuild has to be something that's particularly well planned by everybody at the club for next season.
Do you want to be involved in that conversation?
Well, I don't know, because I can only come to that decision. One, do they still want me at one game? And two, what is the outlook of the club going to look like? What is the strategy of the football club? What is the staffing going to be like, both on and off the field? And which way do you want to go, and what direction do you want to go? So that's a pretty big strategy to put in place. So that's a pretty big document that has to be talked about and really laid down to try and go in the right direction for next season. If that's all going in the right direction for me and for the board, then we'll see.